Stormtroopers are amazing shots. Yes, spicy take time again, so remember not to take it too seriously. We're just stoking a little conversation. Although this one I actually do believe fully. And by the way, excuse yet another car video, still working on the YouTube studio. Anyway, let's get into it. So what if I told you that one of the most common jokes in sci-fi, one of the most common memes, is just completely wrong? And you've heard it 1,000 times, I know you have. Stormtroopers can't aim, they miss every shot, they're useless, they're faceless cannon fodder in white armor. But that idea doesn't actually come from the movies, like at all. In fact, if you go back and you watch, for instance, Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, you watch it carefully, something very different is happening. In fact, in numerous places. It's all right there in the movie. The truth is, Stormtroopers are amazing shots. They are some of the most competent, accurate shots in all of science fiction. So let's start with one of the most overlooked lines in the entire franchise. So just after the Jawas have been attacked, and Obi-Wan Kenobi says, "Only Imperial Stormtroopers are so precise." Now think about that for a minute. Obi-Wan isn't guessing. He's a veteran of the Clone Wars. He fought alongside the elite soldiers his entire life, the clones who were supposed to be way better than the Stormtroopers, but they were the first Imperial Stormtroopers. This is not an opinion that Obi-Wan's given us, it's experience. And the film backs up that experience immediately. So, go to the very beginning of A New Hope, the boarding of Princess Leia's ship, the Tantive IV. The rebel soldiers are dug in, they're taking cover, they're firing from defensive positions. They have the advantage here. They have every advantage, and they get absolutely overwhelmed. And not just because of superior numbers. If you look, the Stormtroopers don't actually fire that many shots. This isn't blanket of fire. They're firing with precision through a tight, restricted opening, and they're unstoppable. They breach the corridor, and within seconds, rebel troops are dropping left and right. The Empire pushes forward with disciplined, coordinated fire. It's not sloppy, it's not random, it's controlled and effective. That's not bad aim. That's not getting lucky. That's dominance. So then jump to Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, the Battle of Hoth. Pretty much the same thing. This is one of the most iconic ground battles in sci-fi history, and again, the rebels have the advantage. They have fortified bases, heavy weapons, defensive planning, and again, they can't stand up to the firepower of Stormtroopers. And I know there's the AT-ATs and all the rest of it, but once the Imperial forces break through the shield generator and enter the base, it's the Stormtroopers that sweep through the corridors with speed and efficiency. Rebel defenders are forced into retreat almost immediately. There's no prolonged firefight where Stormtroopers are missing everything, which is what would happen if they were missing. It would be a really long fight. The base falls because Imperial troopers are effective at what they do. So, where does the bad aim idea actually come from? Sorry, I'm messing about with the camera as I'm recording it. Mostly from the Death Star escape in Episode 4. Because of people who just don't get what happened. So here you've got Luke, Leia, Han and Chewie running through the corridors while dozens of Stormtroopers fire at them, and somehow they survive. Terrible shots. It looks like terrible shooting. But here's the key detail that most people miss. They weren't supposed to hit them. They were supposed to not hit them. This isn't a theory. It's stated outright in the film. The heroes are allowed to escape so that the Empire can track them back to the rebel base. Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin, they're literally using them as bait. And that changes everything because those missed shots, they're not incompetence, they're restraint. Stormtroopers are under orders not to kill the targets. And suddenly the scene makes sense. The firing looks aggressive enough to sell the illusion, but ineffective enough that it lets the heroes get away. It's a controlled failure, and you have no idea how precise they'd have to be to fire close enough to be believed without hitting moving targets that are firing back even once. This is next level accuracy and professionalism. And now think about every other time Stormtroopers have come up against regular soldiers instead of plot-armored protagonists. They win. They take ships. They capture bases. They maintain control over an entire galaxy while outnumbered by local populations for decades. And that doesn't happen with an army that can't aim. And if you zoom out even further into Star Wars lore, This becomes even clearer. Stormtroopers are the successors to the Republic's clone army, soldiers bred and trained for life for combat. And while they no longer are clones by the time of the Empire, the doctrine, the training, the standards, and the tactical expectations, they didn't just disappear overnight. The Empire doesn't rule through incompetence, it rules through overwhelming military efficiency. So why does the myth persist? Well, because we follow heroes. That's what we do when we watch stories. In Star Wars, we almost always see Stormtroopers from the perspective of people who are unusually skilled, unusually lucky, and or narratively protected, usually all three. Jedi, ace pilots, main characters, all that kind of stuff. Of course, Stormtroopers are going to struggle to hit them. They're not normal opponents. But when the camera shifts, even briefly, to ordinary soldiers, the illusion breaks. Stormtroopers don't miss, they win. Stormtroopers, they're not a joke. They're one of the most effective military forces in science fiction. We've just been looking at them the wrong way. And with that, give me your thoughts. This is Ex Uno Communitas, where we discuss sci-fi. This is the community channel for Ex Uno, a new cinematic universe where the audience gets to contribute, create, and even own the mythos, something Disney would never offer. So give us a like and a share and maybe a subscribe. Join the conversation. See you next time. And thank you so much for listening.